Spawning in a bottom right hand corner. Here on Pride of Altaris. It's a blue Protoss player from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It's Hero. In the top left hand corner instead from Shopify Rebellion. A man, the legend. They call him Micro Jackson. It's Byun. I don't know how many of you guys in the chat knows me, but yeah, TVP is by far my favorite matchup, and it's pretty interesting because I play Zerg, but TVP is just the matchup I studied the most. For the exact reason I play Zerg, because it was the matchup I had to study the most due to not having played it a lot and having to know how exactly the matchup works for casting reasons, and studying it a lot brought to me such a deep love for this matchup. One of the most figured out matchups. I will say the most figured out matchup in the whole game. The matchup in which the skill ceiling is the highest just because everything is pretty much figured out. It doesn't happen often that we see new tech in this matchup. It's pretty much always something we've already seen, and that brings a level of execution to the matchup that is pretty much unmatched. So it really brings the skill of the player to the max. And usually the players that are the best in this matchup are going to be the best in the game overall. Then there's Zerg, which is a whole different beast. Oh, Reaper goes down. I would say also one of the most standard matchups in the way it is closer to traditional RTS standards. Which is weird to say, but SC2, while still being the most iconic, most played ever RTS, the first esport ever, and all that stuff, still a pretty unique game. Not the RTS that Age of Empires or Command and Conquer are much more unique. You can see the hero playing very aggressive with this gateway being proxied over here on this ramp. There's a warp already being finished, and that makes this pylon over here very deadly towards Byun. You can see on the high ground the one pylon giving a lot of information for hero Byun, keeping it alive until he has resources to drop down a supply depot himself and get a wall incoming. The Adept will try to force out the Widowmine shot, but he forces it out a little bit too much, actually suiciding for it. But it's a free gate Stalker play, and you can see the Stalkers being sent out onto these ramp to deal as much damage as possible. The Cyclone will micro backwards, but these Marines are not high enough in number to fight against that. The Widowmine will fall down as well. Now STV is left fighting against Stalkers. That's never what you want. Another STV will fall down. The Cyclone gets repaired back to full health to drop another lock-on onto this Stalker and get yet another kill, taking its total body count to 3. Oh, the Stalker almost managed to get a kill onto that one Cyclone, but the Raven pops out just when Byun needs it. One supply depot goes down, but one tank goes up, and the Raven will ensure that Byun lives to fight another day. You can see though that the biggest concern for Byun as of now is the worker difference. 29 to almost 40, 39 in favor of Hero, who's actually trying to take the golden base over here while being very safe in defense with the shield barrier ongoing and observers being spread throughout the map. There's one warp prism to help juggle these stalkers into position. Here comes the natural of Byun. Will he be able to drop it down? There's a lot of army out there for Hero. Byun needs to be extra careful. The one tank really trying to do its best, but getting into position on all of these stalkers, getting both the second and one of these tanks. Tanks on the high ground will stop Hero from walking through that ramp, but the natural will be stopped for the time being. Lots of army being sent on the low ground for Byun to deal with this army of Hero. The Raven almost falls down. There's one Banshee in the main army as well. In the end, Hero will decide to leave, only to try and strike into the main. Warp Prism flying through. The Raven is really out of harm's way. No interference matrix available over there. And here goes the Stalkers right into the main to kill a couple more SCVs. Effortless play from Hero. Just shrugging it off. Yeah, you deflected me on the front, but you know what? I'm just gonna strike in the main. Who cares? 3 SCVs go down for basically no effort at all. And Hero comes out of this early game in a very strong position with a strong worker advantage and a lot of tech already popped down. Very clean opener from the blue Protoss. And now with the fur base coming up right on top of the gold, there's gonna be tons of gateways popping out and being safely supported for the gold base economy. Charging coming, of course. Those minerals will need to be spent, and what better way to spend them than Zealots. This Warp Prism still being incredibly annoying with just the 4 Stalkers, which is surprising. Oh, this is going to be a cancel. Oh, Byun is definitely hating Hero for what he's doing. He's also going to get a tank. Oh my goodness. Hero, these 4 Stalkers are an absolute menace. They're a threat to world safety right now. Hero, just give me a Warp Prism and 4 Stalkers and I can conquer the world. There's one Banshee trying to get something done. Will he go to check? Yeah, he's going to check just the goal straight up. There's no cloak with this, so he will be safely hid away by the Stalkers. Did the Warp Prism die? No, he didn't. Only one Stalker died. One of the healthier ones, actually, but yeah. The Banshee still getting information. And now ready to strike into the main, actually. There's only one Stalker for defense over here. Of course, this is not gonna be a Cloak Banshee, but it's never gonna be the Banshee that's gonna end the game. No way. No, Hero, no. This is disrespectful, man. This is straight up disrespectful. Oh my god. No! A pylon over here as well. Hero overtaking him up completely. Now I know why he chose this map. I told you. I never clicked on this way. Whatever. I just killed the critters in my games. I never checked what they're called. This Warp Prism is still... I don't really know what to say. Hero just bullying Byun right now. I still have full faith in Byun when the big battles will start to happen, but there's honestly just way too many Zealots. And Hero can safely get as many as he wants with a 2 Colton-based economy. Like, just look at the income over here. Like, this is not close. Immortals will be sent out, and yeah, the anti-armor missile is kind of a disaster for Byun, eating more of his own army than the Zealots. Warp Prism will go into siege mode to get as many Zealots out as possible. All of the Immortals are still up and standing, and there's only 2 tanks in the way of defense against the charge lots. I don't really see Byun coming out on top of this. I don't really see a way in even him can come out on top over here. Like, this is beyond Micro Jackson itself, I think. Anti-armor missile this time is perfect, but there's a very good Guardian Shield trying to keep these ults alive. The Widowmine shots are not perfect at all. Immortals trying to strike on top of the choke point, and the one force field actually hurts Hero more than it hurts Byun. And you know what? It's Marines teaming on top of Immortals. That's never what you want. The charge lots will be sent out, but there's still 2 Widowmines with these. What has gone wrong, Hero? The War Prism falls as well to the one single Viking. It's just the 4 Stalkers. The shield battery will replenish the health of the shields of these Immortals. Right now there's one single Viking stopping any War Prism play from happening. And now Zealots being sent out basically to the depths towards these Widowmines to trigger them before they can trigger onto more important units. Zealots charging onto Byun. There's Immortals trying to do their best, but will it be enough? It doesn't look like the army of Byun is fighting against the one of Hero with enough might. Now its SCV is being sent out towards the Immortals. Micro Jackson keeps it going. 3 Immortals falling down, and yes, you might have lost the 13 SCVs to defend over here. Yes, you might be more than 30 workers behind. But Byun is still alive, and if this man still lives, you know what this man can do. He can recover from impossible positions. He's on a 2 base economy against the Protoss on a 5 base economy. 2 of those bases being golden bases. Can Byun fight back? Can he at least get one of these bases? Yes, he can. What can't this man do with enough Medivacs and Marines in his army? Hero will still have such a strong economy though, and he's been replacing his units constantly with more and more Zealots. Byun keeping up with the production somewhat. I don't know how he's doing this, but in the end it really does look like Hero doesn't really have enough production to spend his resources. Banking close to 1,000 minerals every 10 seconds or so, and only being able to spend little more than half of those. +2 about to be finished for Hero, and as you can see, upgrades really working in his favor right now. These Zealots are definitely gonna be thankful for +2 ground weapons and armor. But over here on the right side, Byun will try to strike onto yet another base. Hero base is spread pretty thin, and so is his army. Can he actually try to strike as a counter? We don't mind. We don't mind. We don't mind. Alright, they will not get the crazy good shots they were taking in the previous engagement. And Byun cannot really afford to lose anything more, so he will be playing defensively for the time being, keeping only the one Medivac out to try and strike Hero where it hurts the most, which is supposedly these steel in the making base. Hero will keep his army close to his bases to try and defend. His Medivac is not healthy at all, by the way. Like, oh no way, so close, but yet so far. But over here on the top right, Byun is ready to strike. Pride of Altarius has one pretty big thing going on, which is you cannot really send your army out too much. Otherwise, those kind of stuff will happen. And in the end, Hero will be defending his base in the top right, but he will also be losing a little bit more than his opponent is. Zealous trying to charge on top of these Marauders, but another scheme will be used by Byun to keep his army safe. Over here in the bottom right, a recall gets issued actually to keep this base alive. This Medivac is in real danger. One blink and it's all done. Of course. Shockwave. EMP incoming from the Ghost Academy. Byun will be bulking up its forces with the strongest units, honestly, that can be sent out on the field for him, which is the Ghost, with EMP being absolutely crazy splash damage. These Archons holding their own until the Ghost joined the field. Byun, this is perfect micro. I don't really even know how he's doing this. Getting on top of the Liberator range. Ooh. Honestly, I don't know if I agree with you guys. The economy of Hero is crazy good. He's getting +3/+3. But once Ghosts join the field, that's a whole different story. Once Ghosts are out on the field, it's completely different. This matchup kind of gets turned upside down. And as you can see, Byun is kind of safely defending on his bases. Oh my god, that EMP was pretty dang good. Immortals and Archons alike will be sent backwards. Liberators were not there to help the army of Byun. Byun knows better than to fight out of their range. The Zealots will try to go around. This is such a perfect engagement from Hero, but the Zealots will indeed go down at last. In the end, Hero will get the game. Doesn't really look like Hero wants to go for some crazy stuff again. I could be wrong. Curious Minds has a pretty tiny natural. You don't really want to get something from it over here. Yeah, Hero is just gonna leave. Or easy. This is starting to get suspicious. Yeah, this is a good place to hide your probe. Good as any. And this is not... What is going on? Oh, he's just keeping alive from the Reaper to scout again. I thought he was hiding something, but I kind of forgot the Reaper wasn't out on the field yet. In the end, yeah, that pops out. And of course, all is gonna be fine with a Stargate opener incoming from Hero. He's no longer doing the challenge run. He's getting the Stargate this time. Of course, from the get-go you have 3 options. All 3 of them are pretty much great. There's an Oracle incoming from... Cycle incoming from Byun, which is very good against the Oracle opener. It's gonna be a Phoenix first. Maybe try and avoid exactly that one Cyclone. Don't get too much done. If Hero decides to go into Oracles soon after, this could also be a Phoenix build, but I seriously doubt it's gonna be Phoenix right from the get-go. You would need to get a Robo basically in the next few seconds, and that's probably never going to happen. Second Cyclone actually being sent out. What's gonna be a second Phoenix too? So we might be seeing some kind of Phoenix Colossi play incoming from Hero. Meanwhile, on the left side, you can see this Cyclone trying to do its best. Actually, third Phoenix incoming as well. Trying to do its best against the Adepts, only to be lifted up in the skies and be absolutely annihilated without no chance of reprisal. On the right side, it looks like Byun is trying to go for a scout, trying to check the production mostly. He's gonna see another Phoenix being worked out of the target, and he's gonna be seeing another one in the production. What is the play out of Hero? Usually you go for the 6 Phoenixes and you go for the Robo to double it up with the Colossi. Very complicated army to play with, but very strong at countering pretty much anything. This time, he gets the Twilight Council out. This is, I was talking about in the previous series how this is pretty much a figured matchup. You don't really see new stuff. But Hero is kind of surprising me. He's not even getting a second target to support even stronger Phoenix production. That prompts me to believing he doesn't really want to have too many Phoenix on the field. Like, he's just gonna keep the 1x1 production. He's not getting Blink. This is like a way of setting up a weird timing attack by lowering out the key unit amount with the Phoenixes. How many Phoenixes out? Like, yeah, there's 6 Phoenixes. This is pretty standard. But usually, double it up with Trovo. I'm curious to see how this will play out for Hero, because as of now, he's very vulnerable, honestly, to just a strong Marine play. Which we all know Byun is very good at. Not really a gateway explosion yet, but we're getting there. With the Hero getting his fur base, gonna drop down as many gateways as he can. Now Byun will try to support his army with Marauders as well. The Phoenixes are being spread out a little bit everywhere to try and check if there's something amiss. But Byun is pretty much pinned in his own side of the map, fearing the Phoenixes. And for very good reasons. One Cyclone will get a lock on, which will be cancelled after losing sight through the side blockers. The Phoenixes will be kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Meanwhile, there's a ton of Blink Stalkers out there just to delay any push that Byun wants to go for. Looks like the Stalkers will blink forward and get the snipe on top of the single Cyclone. Here comes the Medivacs. The Phoenixes. Why did I say the Medivacs? And then last, we have a Robo incoming as well as Charge. Hero playing the bingo with his tech, pretty much. It's a super delayed standard Robo opener. That's what it is. You get Blink, which is just the best upgrade possible in this matchup. You always need it. You're always gonna get it. But he gets it so late after opening with the 6 Phoenixes. Now he has a lot of Stalkers in his army. He was able to deal a lot of damage with his Phoenixes, and he's still sending them out to try and snipe stuff on the production of Byun. In the end, Hero is in a pretty decent spot, losing only 1 Phoenix for this. Yeah, my voice is already going to weird places. I'm gonna try and snap a couple SCVs as well. Get a good glimpse of what is going on in the base of Byun, who was never able to get a third and is now getting a Ghost Economy. The Stalkers trying to eat in the front. Guardian Shield gets popped to defend these Stalkers. And right now there's not much in the way of splash damage against these Stalkers at all. Widowmines are trying to get into position, but the micro has been pretty much perfect on the side of Hero, keeping as many of these Stalkers alive as possible, and the force skill being absolutely perfect to keep Marines from forming the concave that Byun needed to deflect the attack. Hero playing such a clean PvT as of now, being so uber aggressive and absolutely stopping Byun from playing his game. Robo Bay incoming for Hero to try and get Disruptors or Colossi on the field. Both are very good options. A second Robo goes down as well. It's going to be Disruptors in the production tab. Of course, Shockwave, EMP and Ghost are being added into the mix, but the Phoenixes are going to be super annoying to deal with, even with EMP stopping them from getting lifts altogether. Guardian Shield gets popped to keep this army alive. Here goes the lift up in the sky. And the Zealots will back up enough damage for the Stalkers to finish those Marauders. Byun really struggling to keep up with army supply, which is honestly surprising considering how many Medivacs he has. And unsaid Shockwaves, 10 seconds from finishing. Most important upgrades of them all. And finally Byun matching the economy of his opponent by taking his fur base. T-Colossi extended thermal lance in the making as well. Now that Disruptors have hit in the field, it's gonna be a little bit more complicated for Byun to walk his army through those rents. Heroes mines lots of choke points, lots of side blockers. And Byun needs to be extra careful around those. The Stalkers will blink forward into position. The Disruption Nova will kill Zealots and not much more. Finally, a couple Phoenixes will be killed by Byun, who's actually pushing through these ramp. Stalkers are being left out to try and deal with the army of Byun before he can march too much forward. Disruption Novas are available yet again. Will they be used? Not yet. Looks like Hero is keeping the shots in his revolver, ready to fire them all at once when times arise. Here it comes. The first Nova will be killed by Byun. Disruptor will never see that Nova explode. And so will Hero. A snipe going on to one of the Zealots as well. Of course. An Answer Shockwaves is available for Byun, who's now destroying the army of Hero every single time he pops one of those, and he's surpassing an army in supply very quickly. Hero has a better economy, but not by far. These Colossi, will they be enough? There's 2 Vikings in the field already to try and counter the Colossi. There's only 2 Phoenixes in the sky to try and kill the Vikings, but there's a lot of Stalkers on the ground. Whereas Enhanced Shockwave EMP will not hit anything, but there's still plenty more to be used. Guardian Shield popping out, one blink forward to snipe 1 key unit, and now it's the Colossi marching forward to stop the Ghost from getting anything done. It's gonna be a lift up in the sky for this command center, and so many SCVs fighting for their lives. Shockwave going through on top of all of these Stalkers, but 22 workers have been killed. The Vikings are still keeping these Colossi honest, and now it's Byun marching forward to stop Hero from getting the W. Now Zealots marching on top of the army of Byun, and Byun doesn't really have a lot going on for him right now. 3 Marines, 3 Marauders in the production tab. Yes, these Colossus will be attacked and lose all of his shields, but there's 2 Stalkers on the ground to kill the last remaining Viking for Byun. Byun in a desperate position right now, unable to take control of his fur base, while Hero is safely taking a 4th. 2 more Colossi being sent into the mix. Hero replenishing his lost key units and adding up as much gateway trash units as possible. Disruptors will try to get something done for the side blockers, will not manage. Byun plays extra careful around those side blockers, of course. He also needs a 1 kill little probe over here. Will be sadly for him sniped. Found out by 1 single Marine, but in the end the whole army of Hero is still in a much better position than one of Byun. Yes, there's Marauder with this, but honestly, Hero is in a very commanding spot. 22 workers ahead and 20 worth of army supply ahead. These pylons still standing, still working in units. The Shockwave EMP, it's a lot of Stalkers which will need to blink backwards, but all Byun is doing is buying time for what we may never know, because I don't think it will buy enough time for High Templars in the making as well to be turned into Archons and bulk the front army of Hero even more, tanking maybe more shots than Byun can deal. Even with Shockwave EMP being available, Byun knows that there's basically no turning back from here. Here, we'll take the second set. Trovo actually checking for proxies this time, which is a first. Hero wants to stay extra careful, checking around the northernmost side of his half of the map. Right side will still be unchecked. There's nothing to fear, really. Getting a little bit of a block over here, of course. Not gonna matter too much. Byun is gonna just drop down a command center wherever he wants and be happy with it. Or easy. Well, It looks like the place he wanted his command center to spawn was exactly the place he needed it. What a surprise. Here are keeping his probe around, of course, for further scouting. It's reactor-head Reapers and a second Rax. What do we have here exactly? There's a bunker in the natural, Stargate incoming for Hero, but Byun might be playing a little bit more aggressive than he did in the past. What a weird choice of a map to play aggressive in. The two Reapers, of course, will grant him so much scouting information, since the Adept will be forced to stay back home to deal with those two pests. Or maybe be left out chasing them. Oh, wow. The side blockers doing magic for Byun, stopping the one single Adept from getting the kill on one of his Reapers. On the other side of the map, though, third Rex incoming. Byun resetting to his best build. The free Rex opener. Will this be the version with the early command center? Or not? Oracle incoming from Hero, while the two Adepts are currently stopping any mining from the natural of Byun. They will not get the shade in the main. They will be content with what they see. Which is not much. I don't think they saw anything past the first Rex. No, they didn't. Over here, Byun will get some scouting information. The first Oracle pops out, being sent out for some scout, maybe kill a couple SCVs as well. And the second one will be popping out as well. Bunker is filled with Marines over here. Well, Reaper's actually getting kills onto probes. That's never what you want to happen. 4 probes going down, maybe even 5. Yeah, that is not good. 2 Reapers killing 5 probes, that is not good at all. Here goes sending yet these two Adepts in. 2 that devs into that bunker though. Where's the Oracles at? One over here, the other over here. The third one soon chiming in. The Oracles will be sent straight into the main to try and see what is up. Drop down a Revelation will not hit anything at all. Will they activate Pulsar Beam to try and kill a couple SCVs? Yes, they will. They will start one-shotting those, but there's missile turrets and Marines over here for defense. There's another missile turret popping out right here as well. And the 2 Oracles will be sent out flying with their tails between their legs. And not really much to do. 2 SCVs killed, but their energy, well, not their energy, sorry, their shields are super low, if not depleted altogether. They cannot get much more going on. Combat shields incoming. Steam already finished. Beyond much safer defense this time. And for obvious reasons as well. Hero playing much less aggressively on a much less aggressive map. While Byun is getting the free Rex, which is, oh no, Anki. Oh, he's back. All good, all good, all good. Marines steaming on top of these Adepts, and those are gonna be dead Adepts. Oh, the stasis word though. Eating the jackpot. Just when Hero needed it. I was about to say that Hero is in a world of trouble. You know what? Yeah, maybe he isn't. Maybe he really isn't. Well, he needs to remember about those though. Does he actually have enough army to fight against this? Pulsar Beam gets activated. There's a shield battery to help with this. Yeah, and the Oracles will just be sent out to kill these Marines without really too much effort or trouble. Byun will lose a lot of Marines without doing anything. It's not the best with his opener. Really not. The 4 Oracles are still sharking around for damage. They will be trying to find some stray key units. another revelation or two to keep Byun honest. But on the other side of the map, Hero is getting some key structures. Byun will collect his forces under the revelation, so Hero will know that there's a couple medivacs sharking around. The Oracles will fly into a dangerous position, honestly. There's not much in the way of punishing them though, so they will just fly out. And now Byun, with a pretty decent drop, is going to go straight into the main. There's Blink Stalker. Well, actually, they're not Blink Stalkers, it's just Vanilla Stalkers. Yeah, they're not good against Medivacs at all. They will do their best to try and deal with those. Oh, actually, one of the Medivac falls down. Byun struggling to keep up with Hero, even in micro. That's not something I was expecting out of this series. But the Ghost Academy is already popping out. Byun just wants to keep up the aggression, wants to keep Hero honest, keep his key unit count as low as possible to buy time for those ghosts to pop out with Shockwave, upgrade for the EMP. 3 Medivacs trying to fly into the main. The Oracles will find them out. They will not fly into the main, they will stay over here to try and stop Hero from getting a 4th base. They will manage for a little while, but not too much. Link complete just about now, as well as ground weapons +1, and charge will be started immediately after. Those are the upgrades that Hero needs to fight against the army of Byun head on, something that he still cannot do. He still needs to dance around it a little bit, he still needs to micro the Stalkers with Blink as much as possible. But now that 2 Disruptors are joining the field as well, story might be different with Byun being the one to be a little bit more careful. Stalkers trying to keep Byun out of the fur base alongside 1 photon cannon. But of course it's up to 1 Disruption Nova hitting 2 Widow Mines, which is honestly more than I was expecting. The post speeds are pretty good, keeping some of the army of Byun out of this fight and trapping a little bit of it, hitting a rock and a hard place. Oh, the Oracles are flying into dangerous position. One of them will immediately fall to the Vikings. Byun will struggle to find a way past the defenses of Byun. Oh, sorry, what am I saying? Byun struggling to find a way past the defenses of Hero. And now the Planestalkers will try to find their way on top of these, and Medivacs will not find the damage they were looking for, but the Disruptors will keep the army of Byun from their ramp. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, the Oracles were able to kill 7 SCVs. Revelation popping out of those Oracles to keep the army of Byun under track. Both the players really managing to dance around their opponent properly. Really finding a way to lose as few units as possible while defending as cleanly as possible. Of course, the army of Hero is in this moment stronger, but Ghosts are going to be the big threat. And once the EMP get on top of the army of Hero, we might be looking at a different story. No EMP gets used yet, and these 2 Novas, one of them hits a very good connection, but one of the Disruptors will be dying, but there's actually the other 2. Hero might not be really trading properly into the army of Byun. That wasn't really worth it. And Byun is taking a 4th base right now, so they're basically even in economy. Even on supply as well, well, almost even. Hero being slightly more ahead, losing an Oracle for no reason at all. But the upgrades are kicking in strong for Byun. Right now, Hero, though, taking control of the ramp. Can he take control of the ramp? Doesn't really look like it. Disruptors are doing their best at keeping Byun out of range of these Colossi. The Vikings will kill the last... Actually, one to last remaining Oracle. There's really just the one staying alive right now. And the Vikings already have a big hot plate in front of them with a mine shot. Nothing significant. Same can be said for those Disruption Novas. The Shockwave EMP though, it's a very good chunk of the army of Hero. Was blinking forward, trying to get something done. One of the ghosts really exposed. Will probably be healed back to full health. Hero walking on top of the ramp right now though. And Byun just letting him do that. Can the EMP hit the jackpot? Yes, it's a very good position. But over here, can Byun get the concave he needs? He looks like he can. Hero will decide to live to fight another day, waiting for the right moment to send his Colossi in and get as much splash damage as possible. +2/+2 finishing right about now for the Protoss player. While Byun is getting +2 armor and +3 weapons. Stalkers blinking forward, trying to fight the army of Byun instead of trying to knock down the Vikings. He will not lose any Colossi for this yet. Purification Nova doesn't really hit too much. These two players relentlessly fighting. Getting blow for blow to each other. Very even right now. But Hero taking control of the map is kind of dictating the pace of this game. And there's so many Stalkers right now out there. +3/+3 ready to kick in. The Shockwave EMP is nothing crazy. Will the Purification Nova hit something? No, it won't. 3 more Novas are available to Hero. Byun needs to be careful still. 5 Vikings being sent in. The Stalkers blinking forward, trying to deal with the Vikings. Over here on the right side, the Novas are hitting the jackpot. Hero finally found the damage he was looking for. And Byun, can he keep up with the production now that he lost so much of his own army without retaliation? Over here you can see SCV's been transferred back to the 4th phase of Byun, and Command Center will be cancelled. Byun microing backwards. Another Purification Nova will hit at least something, but there's 2 more available. Backwards of the army of Hero, blinking forward, sending some units in, trading for the Vikings. And it's the most important piece of the army of Byun. Losing those Vikings means having 0 way to counter the Colossi. Can Byun find a way through? Hero fighting perfectly in the last minute or so. And now maybe another plane forward may cut the deal for him. Here it comes. The Shockwave EMP is crazy good, but the Charge Lots are still ready to get on top of the Bio army. The Stalkers getting on top of the Medivacs, getting on top of the Vikings. There's no more Vikings in the sky. There's nothing on the ground really. The 4 ghosts are really not enough. There's not a lot of shields in the army of Hero, but he will just blink forward into victory. Clean sweep for Dragon Phoenix Hero, advancing to the finals with a 3-0 victory.